इस समारोह में के अंतिम पर्याय में हम लोग उपस्थित हो चुके हैं। तो हम लोगों ने पहला जो शुभारंभ सत्र था, उस सत्र की अध्यक्षता परम आदरणीय प्रोफेसर बनवाली विश्वाल जी ने की थी। और हमारे लिए यह सौभाग्य है, जो समारोह सत्र है, जो संपूर्ति सत्र की बात हम लोग उसमें से कर रहे हैं, इस सत्र की अध्यक्षता परम आदरणीय प्रसिद्ध वैयाकरण, आधुनिक संस्कृत कवि अध्यक्षता कर रहे हैं। मैं अधिक समय न लेते हुए सादर आमंत्रित करता हूं, विनम्रता के साथ आमंत्रित करता हूं प्रोफेसर बनवाली विश्वाल जी को अपने अध्यक्षीय वक्तव्य के लिए। प्रोफेसर विश्वाल जी, थैंक यू सर। मैं आमंत्रित करना चाहता हूं इस सत्र के अध्यक्ष प्रोफेसर बनवाली विश्वाल जी को।
वर्णानाम् अर्थसंज्ञानां रसानां छन्दसामपि मंगलानां च कर्तारौ वन्दे वाणी विनायको। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचंद्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। A very good evening to all of you who are virtually present in this valedictory session of 25th India Conference of Waves, which is being organized by Wider Association for Vedic Studies, New Delhi, in collaboration with our campus, Central Sanskrit University, Sri Raghunath Kirti Campus, Devrayag. First of all, I would like to welcome the chief guest and thank the chief guest, Professor Prafulla Kumar Mishra ji, the Chancellor Dr. Rajendra Prasad Agricultural University, and the chairman of Sandipani Veda Vidya Pratishthan, Ujjain, who has agreed to address us in this session before some time. I welcome Professor Shashi Tiwari ji, the coordinator of the conference and the president of the Waves. I welcome both the distinguished guests of this session, Dr. Indrani ji, Indrani Ram Prasad Pandita ji, and Sri Prashant Bharadwaj ji, Dr. Shailendra Prasad Unyal ji, who welcomed the guests in a versified form, Professor Ranjit Behra ji, who is conducting this program very well in a disciplined manner. I welcome all other organizing committee members, Dr. Aparna Dhir ji, Dr. Anil Kumar ji, Dr. Kamna Bimal ji, Sri Pankaj Kotial ji, Sri Naveen Dobriyal ji. All of them have accomplished their assignments very perfectly. I also welcome Dr. Prem Devali ji, who will recite the Santipat at the end, and the scholar who will cast a vote of thanks after this program. I welcome all the participants and distinguished scholars who are present in this last session of the conference and who were present and have presented their papers in all of their earlier sessions, including the inaugural one. Without wasting much time, let me directly come to my present assignment. This is not the presidential address in a real sense, as I am neither a Vedic scholar nor having authorities on the issues of the conference. Professor Shashi Tiwari ji, who is a Vedic scholar, has already presented her valedictory speech. Through her speech, we could know the details about the sessions of the conferences, and she has also reviewed the theme of the conference. As a co-coordinator of 25th format of this conference, I do agree with her views. Nevertheless, I would like to speak something general on the theme of the conference. The theme of the conference is the central theme, I should say, the concept of liberty and equality in Vedic perspectives. My responsibility has been reduced to zero, as all the issues have been well discussed by the scholars and the learned participants. But before that, I will speak something on the speciality of the 25th India Conference. This 25th format of the conference is auspicious because this year the wider Association for Vedic Studies, shortly known as WAVES, is observing its silver jubilee year. And the collaborating institute, that is our Raghunath Kirti campus, has completed its 5 years recently. And we have organized a 3 days international webinar on Uttarakhand Vidya Vaibhavam during its Panchabda Purti Samaroh. On the other hand, our country is observing the 75th independence year, rightly called as Amruta Mahotsav. Therefore, the present format of the conference is based on an important topic, namely the concept of liberty and equality in Vedic perspective. In this conference, the speakers, the paper presenters, and the guests have discussed about various aspects of liberty, meaning freedom, and equality, denoting unanimity among all the living beings, covering the subtopics related to family, society, kingdom, king, devotion, patriotism, economics, education, culture, religion, philosophy, rebirth, and the concept of karma and liberation, that is moksha, etc., as reflected in the Vedas as well as the Vedic literature, along with all sorts of Sanskrit literature, supporting Vedic thoughts, ideas, and the concepts. As we are informed by Professor Shashi Tiwari ji in the beginning, the present conference consisted of 7 enriched sessions during last 3 days, including inaugural session, keynote address, and today's valedictory section, along with several question answer sessions through this chat box. As we all know, the conference has plethora of participation from India and abroad, not only established learned faculties, but budding research scholars and university students have also participated and presented papers in a special session. In addition to that, WAVES award ceremony was also an important part of this conference. Lifetime Achievement Awards of WAVES was conferred on Dr. S. Kalyan Raman and Dr. C. Prabhakarji. On this very occasion, WAVES has published the e-booklet containing abstracts of the research papers presented in this conference, and the same was released during the inaugural session of the conference. Here I would share a few words on the basis of the lectures and papers I heard during these last 3 days. I'll start with the most discussed Aikatmya Sukta of Rigveda, which indicates the liberty, equanimity with an important goal, that is for peace and prosperity. The mantras are Sangachadvam Sambadhvam Sambho Manansi Janatam Samano Mantra Samiti Samani Samana Vastu Manaha Yathava Sushaha Sati Samaniva Akruti Samana Hrudayani Vaha. That means the seers pray that common be our intention, or rather your intention. Common be your intention. Common be the wishes of your heart. Common be your thoughts, so that there may be thorough union among you. In other words, we can say, united be your purposes, harmonious be your feelings, collected be your mind, in the same way as all the various aspects of the universe exist in togetherness, wholeness, and in harmony. Thus, these Vedic hymns command equality of all by birth and unity and harmony among them. Vedas are also quite helpful in diminishing the major social evils such as caste inequality and gender inequality, etc. In fact, the other most discussed issue was gender equality. On this issue, I have already spoken in the opening session. However, we have talked very less about transgender, that is Kinnara, as we say. In a couple of papers, some scholars were talking about the role of Sikhandi and Brihannala, etc. in Mahabharata period. It is a good sign that today this transgender is getting his right in today's society. I need not go into details about all the subtopics, because all of you have witnessed those papers and lectures during last 3 days. So I will just repeat some mantras which have been quoted a number of times in the papers of the participants. For example, there is a mantra in the 6th mandala of Rigveda, Puman Pumansam Paripatu Vishwataha. That means a man should protect other men from every angle, from every direction. Here it is implied that the gods should be our models, whose nature and behavior is filled with liberty and equanimity. In an Atharvedic mantra, it is said that Sakha Sakhibhyo Bariha Krunotu. That means a friend should always favor his friends. In fact, this humanity is like honey for all beings. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad rightly says, Idam Manusham Sarvesham Bhutanam Madhu. The human world has been advised through Vedic mantras that we should see only the auspicious things through our eyes. Just as Yajurveda says, Bhadram Pashyema. Because whatever is in the world ends in the ultimate reality. Therefore, the Yajurveda further says, Isavasyamidam sarvam jatkinchit jagatyam jagat. Before I conclude, I should have few words on the concept of Rashtra in Vedas, as we have heard from many scholars about this concept. We can witness varieties of views regarding Rashtra in Vedas. To start with, there is a mantra in the 10th mandala of Rigveda, which says one should hold the earth with stability. Rashtram dharayatam dhruvam. Again in Vajrayana Samhita, it is said that we all should awaken and should be in the front line to guide the nation. Vayam Rashtre Jagruyama Purohita. Again in Yajurveda Samhita, it is said that one should not spoil the earth. Gam ma hinsi. Gam is here Prithvi. In Rigveda, it is said that those who lead our nation should destroy our Vikritis or Vikaras. Netara Ushu Anastiraha, etc. In addition to the famous mantra Mata Bhumihi Putroham Prithibhya, we have certain other mantras which have high opinion about the earth. For example, this huge world is my mother. Me Mata Prithvi Mahiyam. In Atharvaveda again there is another mantra which says Bhumir Mata Aditir no Janitram. This mantra also describes the land as our mother. In another mantra of Rigveda, it is said that one should awaken himself for great fortune. Uchrayase mahate sobhagaya. Another mantra in the Atharvaveda says this earth is the nourisher of the world as it contains Vishwambara Vasudhani Pratishtha. Therefore, one should not say or one should not stay udasina, indifferent in this world. That says Atharvaveda, Atratishta Parangmana, Ma Atratishta Parangmana. Thus, we can find everything about our culture in the Vedas, because the Vedas are the source of Indian culture and the Aryan civilization. It is the source of all learning. Sarva Jnanamayo Hisaha. As the chief guest, Professor Prafulla Kumar Mishra was saying, Vedas are like Kalpavrikshas and Kamadhenus. Even all sorts of Indian philosophies are also embedded in the Vedas. Not only the spiritual theories, but various images of the social system of the Vedic time have also been reflected in the Vedic literature. Election of the king, the duties of the monarchy, the composition of the cabinet, the finances, and the policy of taxation, etc., are well depicted in the Vedic literature. In Atharvaveda, it is said that Sangno Nikhata Valga Samulka Deshopasarga Samuno Bhavantu. Here the word Deshopasarga is used to pray for the protection of the country from future crises and natural calamities. In fact, the modern system of administration is also still following the ancient electoral policies to some extent. Before I stop, I would like to thank the conference organizing committee of both the institutes. The names I have already taken at the outset, and specifically Professor Shashi Tiwari, the coordinator of this conference, and the president of WIFES in particular. Thus, I can sincerely say that this mega academic event was a great success, as all of you have opined. Let me conclude my speech with this Vedic mantra. Ano Bhadraha Kratovo Yantu Vishwataha. Since we are heading towards the end of the conference, I should say Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avasishyate. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your blessing and remarks. अध्यक्षीय वक्तव्य के बाद मुझे नहीं लगता और कुछ मुझे बोलना चाहिए।